Garden of Terror, the Anniversary Cup continues with another losers bracket match, another best of 3 series. Actually, it is the last best of 3 series. After this, we're heading into best of 5s again. But we have the Stack of Doom going up against Surge Energy. It's honestly crazy to me that Stack of Doom is in the losers bracket, but boy, we had some absolutely wild games. So now that we're going into our first game of the best of 3 here, quick reminder, there are no actual draft rules, so there's no shenanigans with pre-bans or anything of the sorts that you can only play hero once within the series. It's a straight up tournament. We have north of 3,000 euros of prize money for this, celebrating 10 years of Heroes of the Storm. And the Stack of Doom has to make a losers bracket run right now. Going up against Surge Energy, I would still say that the blue team is the clear favorite here, but there were a couple of upsets in the group and also in Group A. So, yeah. I would still say they're the favorites, but we had some crazy games as is. Darkmog apparently had enough of his spin to win Sonya plays and is going for a Dehaka move on our first map in the best of 3 series. Whereas over on the right, very quick ETC and Blaze combo for Surge Energy. And Oriel got banned again. Oriel and Sylvanas. Sylvanas was locked in multiple times by the blue team as a first pick, and Oriel has been an absolute staple for X-Ray. We've seen quite a lot of double support compositions from the Stack of Doom. Now with them playing Maiev here, I would assume that's not going to be the case. Not 100% certain though. They played a couple of compositions already where they didn't really have a dedicated tank and instead were running other frontliners with 2 supports behind them to act as tanks and add more utility to the team. But most of the time it was actually Außenseiter in one of those positions. So we'll see what they're going to do here. Suffice it to say that they really like that double support, and I think the Uther ban is actually a pretty decent one, because I could have totally seen them going for an Uther main tank with the Haka, Maiev, and then have just a full-on hyper carry as their last slot. So, good ban from Surge Energy, and we'll see how the blue team reacts. For now, it's a few more supports being banned out, so the support hate is real. 4 supports banned. We have 6 ban slots and 4 supports have been banned. Lucio, Brightwing, Oriel, and Uther have all gotten the axe here. But then again, over on the right side, what are we now going to see from Surge Energy? What damage deal are we going to get? Are they going to go also for global? I mean, ETC could, for example, go stage dive if they really needed to have some pseudo global. We get White Main, but there's our global. We get Falstad. So Falstad is going to be the one trying to deal with the Haka if it comes to big plays on a huge map like this. And then as a last slot, of course, additional damage is needed. Falstad alone is not going to work out. But for the blue team, bit of a moment of truth here. Normal composition? Or is it again going to be something crazy? There's Diablo. We get a real tank. We have a real tank and we get Liming. So they're going to go for the resets. And then Diablo at the front, Maiev plus the Haka. A lot of CC on that front line. Definitely quite a lot of CC. Surge Energy will have to deal with that during the big team fights. There's obviously also a lot of hit points that they have to take down if they want to reach Liming in the first place, who's going to be looking for resets the entire time. And we get Greymane after Falstad as the second damage dealer for the red team. With that, we're set for the first map. Ladies and gentlemen, Garden of Terror. On the left, Stack of Doom on our first map with X-Ray on Diablo. Außenseiter is the one playing Liming. So there weren't really any big changes after the draft on who plays what. Darkmog is still playing Dehaka. We have Linked on Rhaegar. He's back to one of his main heroes. As I said in the first series that they played, I absolutely love to see Linked not only in the series but also on Rhaegar again. And then we have Ultralisk with Maiev, which is of course also a big one. Over on the right side, we get Surge Energy with Leppy on Greymane, Atella on Falstad, we got Nolo Barker on Whitemane with Pity the Frail, and then Bybiz, or Bye Z, whatever. Bye-bye. Exactly. He's playing ETC, and we got Dion on Blaze. So, let's go! Who is claiming victory in the first map? Greymane is all alone at the bot lane, so they're in the middle only with 4. Greymane is just trying to be a bit sneaky down here apparently, but over in the middle, we already have our first tether. And I guess, thanks to Blaze, they were able to prevent any real danger. Him coming in with the jet propulsion after Maiev connected that and tethered them back in definitely helped them a lot. So, down at the bottom of the map now. Yeah, next little attack is already coming through, and we have a couple of pleb horses. Pleb horse unite! That's apparently what we're getting here. But yeah, 1 minute mark has passed, camps are being taken. Nothing too fancy is just happening yet. Both of the teams obviously well aware that they're in the lower bracket right now, so they can't really be too aggressive, or at least they shouldn't. They still need to be make very sure that they have another chance to make it through this, because if you lose right now, then it's just lights out, and you're gonna be out of the group pretty quickly, and they're all gonna try and prevent that from happening as best as they can. As is, we're having at the bottom with those camps, first of all the Siege Giants taking a really nice moment as well, so that they can help with the defense against the Bruiser camp. But yeah, they're currently starting to take the wall down. The towers are already at half HP. I think the gate is also going to get destroyed pretty quickly if they keep this pressure up. Maiev has roamed into the middle a little bit. So just early game shenanigans that are happening right now with the teams going through the motion, trying to set themselves up for a bit of success later on. The level 4 talents are already kicking in, but nobody's really going for anything too nasty. There's no invades on camps happening right now. Maybe this attack down here overstaying their welcome a little bit, so this could have some consequences. The tether on ETC as they're trying to go in for him, and yeah, the Tong connects, and that is actually some nice body blocking too. So ETC goes down, and that is the first kill for Stack of Doom. So, nicely done. Gives them the first kill, also a chance to take some of the structures out here. I don't think they can get that tribute. The position for them is really meh. Way too close to the 2 forts of the red team and also the fountain, so they can, from more or less guaranteed safety, always re-engage into the battle and trying to interrupt. So normally when you see a spot like this, you're just letting your opponent take it, unless you have, of course, a talent advantage that you can roll with. Still a heavy focus on the PvE style, going for camps here. ETC by now also with speed metal. And yep, they're going to go for the next camp all the way up at the top. So the bruisers are going to be claimed too. Yeah, and now, I mean, the seed is still up. Nobody's actually going for anything here. They're trying to delay this a bit more even. The speed metal ETC plays is something that we're seeing a lot more of, by the way. So yeah, that's happening quite a bit. Right now, Siege Giants up at the top. The Hark at the bottom. Li Ming not with the team yet. Level 7 on both sides. There's the slide against Maiev. She's going to be totally fine with this. And instead, we get the attack on ETC. Maiev makes it out, but that's actually quite nice damage from Surge Energy too. They're trying to take the wall out, and so far it looks like they're not going to have any problems with it. In fact, they're going for Maiev and they take her down too. So, Stack of Doom loses one of their heroes. Guys, I'm telling you, the blue team for me is still the favorite in the series. If Surge Energy wins this now and Stack of Doom gets eliminated immediately in the group stage, that would be insane. Look at this team. Linked, Outsider, X-Ray, we have Ultralisk over here. And then Darkmook on the side. Yes, some of these guys might be a little bit rusty, but these are all top names. A lot of them have been playing for quite some time again, and it's just wild to me in the first place that we have the blue team down in the lower bracket, but now they've just lost their first fort. Top side fort has been destroyed, so this one's gone. Blue team loses the first structure. And now we're having, level 8 on both sides, level 9 soon kicking in. The seed could still be claimed, but they're trying to delay this as long as they can from the looks of it. They don't want to deal with that. And I am honestly starting to get a little bit worried here. Stack of Doom, they started off, I mean, again, they got 1 kill. Starting it off okay is probably overstating it a bit. But losing that first fort, that's a problem. And here comes the seed, so they're trying to grab it. Have to take the rest of the defenders out, and that's this one gone. And over on the left side is just more camps that are getting claimed. But losing a fort this early in the game, that definitely hurts. Now level 10 abilities will most likely be claimed by both teams around the same time. So, the wall stun attempt by Diablo. And you could already see that Whitemane was instantly on it. Making sure that there was no problem for Falstad escaping. ETC, by the way, with stage dive after all. So even with Falstad in the game, they're going for stage dive with this. Yeah. And now this attack is going to be a bit more dangerous. The Haka in the back. Trying to keep the Haka, Greymane busy. Drags him in, but needs the Ancestral. And Diablo with a combo. ETC. Hello. And does he have the slide? Maybe, but they're not making a move. Yeah. Maybe a tether could do something for them here. But they need to follow up. Blaze is not even here. Blaze the entire time is just sitting in the mid lane and is getting the experience for the team. Down at the bottom of the map, the fort has taken some damage, but not really a whole lot. So Blaze is already working on the next camp here. Just looking at the damage numbers too, we have now 10,000 for Falstad, same for Li Ming. So those are currently the top 2 damage dealers for the 2 respective teams. Yeah, Maiev is closing in on the 3rd position. But they are really playing this one slow. And now the next seed is up, and this is more of a neutral one. So it seems like the blue team might even get... they're not going to give it up. Are they? Yeah, no, they're fighting for it. Stun is there. Maiev obviously knew what would happen if she was going to engage into this. The bunker is immediately on the ground as she drops the cage. But the red team walks away with the 2nd seed. They're tanking the shots, and that's 2 seeds to 0. Guys, like, I don't know. Are we really watching this? Is this happening right now? They are tied. It's a kill versus a kill. They have the same amount of experience. It's really just that one fort that makes the difference. But compare this to what we've seen in the losers bracket by Mopsia's team. One team came in swinging, applying pressure, just going for it and trying to really speedrun that stuff. And now on the other side, we have this right here. They try to go for a Tella at the bottom of the map. Falstad gets body blocked. And they don't get the kill. Außenseiter nearly dies. They still haven't gotten the kill on Falstad. They at least get the fort as they're moving out. But there is just... it's not as crisp and decisive as you would expect from a team like this. It's a little bit strange, honestly, watching this right now. And there is, just in the back of my head the entire time while casting this, is one little voice. This one little doubtful voice that is just saying, like, could they lose this? Because let's face it, everybody that looked at the draft and checked out the names was immediately going like, yeah, blue team clear favorite. Right now, not so much. They're actually behind. They are behind, and if they lose the seed, then it's the first set of Garden Terrors for Surge Energy. And Surge Energy, they're starting to be a bit more aggressive in all of this. They're actually starting to gain momentum. They have a little bit more confidence all of a sudden, and rightfully so. It's a very cautious game between the 2 teams. As you can see, with only 2 kills being had. But there comes the attack for Diablo. X-Ray, and there's the stun on Whitemane. This might be the one moment where it all flips. Bunker's on the ground. Greymane is on the run, gets killed by Außenseiter. More resets for Li Ming. And with a kill, we get a double. Maiev with another tether. And ETC, he's gone too. Even trying to make a play now for Blaze. Nearly getting a kill there. Barely missing out on it. But Falstad has also been destroyed. And they get the first seed. So by now, we get 4 kills out of that last fight. And this is a little bit more like it. This is kind of what we were expecting as this all started to play out. So now Stack of Doom with some actual coordination in the last battle and momentum that they can bring in. They have level 15 now against level 14 any second. But this is a bit more what I expected here. So each team has now lost a fort. There's a chance to maybe even get the fort in the middle of the map. They're also trying to time the siege giants at the bot lane. And another seed is spawning up at the top. So there's momentum now. Surge Energy, they gotta recover from this. And we'll see how much momentum Stack of Doom can actually build up in the first place. They want the fort in the middle of the map, and that one is obviously a foregone conclusion. I think they're also gonna get this seed with ease, given that they are about to hit level 16 talents. It would shock me to see Surge Energy actually commit to a fight here. Because that talent advantage, once that it connects, is a big one. Yeah. So, seed is taken. And with the minion wave at the top, we should now get level 16. And then maybe, who knows? Maybe they can even go for the top side 4. Depends on how much respect Surge Energy has for the level 16 talent advantage. With Mirror Ball, the Rega totem build obviously basically completed now. And yeah, they're just tethering around with Maiev. They want ETC, but nicely done. White main again, having the teams back and ensuring that they're not running into any big trouble here. So, yeah. Over on the left side, there's a couple of Siege Giants that they can still take, and that's exactly where they're making the next move. So, Siege Giants are now taken. Just setting a couple of more mercenary camps up. I mean, it's the only thing that's really up on the map, and you have your talent advantage, you might as well go for it. And then set up on the objective to try to get the first set of Garden Terrors. The red team still isn't there yet. So they will either have to fight into a level 16 talent advantage or just accept that they're going to lose out on Garden Terrors here. And they are trying to delay. They're trying to delay and fight as best as they can. But, yeah, Falstad is getting an interrupt and Rega is immediately repositioning. But they're getting close to 60 now. And Rega has it. There it is. Garden Terrors. And they are also going to get a kill. Blaze, yeah, you can delay it, my friend, but you are gonna fall. Blaze is down, and this is the moment where they can try and go for the keep at the bottom of the map. The fort at the top should obviously fall. Falstad, he was on his way to the top lane, but he's needed down here. He's needed in the middle or at the bot lane. They can't just do anything with him not being present, specifically with Blaze still down for another 18 seconds. But this wall is being opened up very easily. And now they can go for the keep at the bottom of the map. The topside fort is about to fall. There's a 5-kill difference between the two teams here. 1.5 level advantage. And yeah, in the middle, even this wall is about to get destroyed. But this is an easier defense for the red team to pull off. They have the 5-man back up, but they are now in a position where the keep is lost. Dehaka is still at the top, by the way. Ensured that the fort would fall. And they opened up the middle. Dehaka can still try and use those Siege Giants and the Garden Terrors to do some damage here at the wall. But the blue team, they will most likely now just try and get a few more of those camps once. Yeah, they're already on it. They're already sitting on the Bruiser camp here. So once that the Garden Terror is defeated, they're going to make an immediate move for it. And they want to get actually both. They want to get the Siege Giants and also the Bruisers. The red team, kind of aware of it. Yeah, is already saying hello here. I think the Siege Giants is something that they might be able to fight for. Gust is being used, but the camp is already taken. Falstad uses the Gust. It didn't do anything for them. Here comes the APOC. They're losing at least ETC. One city's out of the bunker, and I'm totally wrong because he just walks away from the fight and nobody cares about him. And he jumps back in. Goes for the big power slide. No hit points, basically, and they use it to take him down. Then comes Maiev. It's a triple kill. They get 3 heroes destroyed here. Maiev herself, essentially no hit points left, but they're able to pull that off. Li Ming is the one, though, that is able to get them. But damn. They're sitting in the middle, they're going towards the top, and they're trying to take more of the structures out. The game is really flipping. By now, we're looking at 9 kills to 1. And of course, they have level 20 also coming up. And that's not the only thing. With another keep being destroyed, there's even more catapult pressure right now. They're looking for additional kills. Good jet propulsion from Blaze, but he might pay with his life for it. There's a quick gust to help out, but there it is. The level 20 talent and the destruction of Blaze. Only Falstad survives. 3 heroes are about to come back, though. So the blue team, Stack of Doom, they're not quite sure what they want to do here now. They were for a moment hesitating and thinking about going for the core, but with 3 heroes respawning, they decided it's time to fall back. A lot of the heroes just don't have mana anymore or very few hit points. Li Ming in particular does not really have a whole lot of mana to play around with, so they decided to just fall back. There's more camps to be claimed too, so they're going to go for those first. In experience gains, we have mercenary experience essentially doubled by Stack of Doom. And the hero experience, I mean, yeah. There's not really a whole lot to say about that. That is insane. That's a crazy advantage. only a single kill for Surge Energy, so there's not a lot that they are working with now. But again, it's all about can you get another kill now, because we have for another level that level 20 advantage, and they're trying now to use those Storm Talents to go for the final keep. And once that keep is gone, you have catapults just pushing against you everywhere, and in addition to that also the mercenary camps. That amount of pressure is pretty crazy to deal with. Falstad has 106 stacks now on his level 1. But they're sieging up on this, they're doing the damage, and they're hoping, of course, for somebody to step out of position and getting killed. And it could be ETC. ETC gets attacked and gets murdered. The gust used, even more bouncing around as they're trying to make some plays with Liming on Greymane. But with ETC gone, and now a potential follow-up kill on Whitemane. Yep. Whitemane is turned into Deadmane. And this might just be the end of game number 1 in the best of 3 series. They're going ham on this one, and they're grabbing it. There it is, the kill. Liming falls, but so does Greymane. Now they're going for Blaze. What about Atella? He falls too. That is 15 kills to 2 in total. 5-man team wipe. And they go for the lead in the series. 1-0, ladies and gentlemen, a Stack of Doom takes the lead against Surge Energy in this series. GG, and well played. Nicely done by the blue team here in the losers bracket of Group B.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2, match point. So, it took a little bit longer to get started, but Stack of Doom built up momentum in the mid game and locked in the first victory. Now we're heading into the second map. It's Infernal Shrines, and Surge Energy has a chance, of course, to turn this around. But the second half of the game looked a little bit more like what I would expect from Stack of Doom. By the way, I find it kind of funny that after just the first few games that they've played, every single team is already looking at Oriel and is just saying, like, no. So, Oriel gets banned consistently. There's obviously a couple of preference bans where you know that your opponent... If you know your opponent really, really likes those and prefers those, you're just trying to get rid of them. Lucio, for example, is pretty similar. Stack of Doom has banned it out so many times, especially now against Surge Energy here. But this is the ban on Maiev. Ultralisk has put on a clinic in game number 1 with Maiev. There were some crazy plays, and therefore right now we have, as a result, Maiev also banned. But with this being Infernal Shrines, could see Sonya again for Darkmok. He's been playing that actually quite a bit in the first series that they played, and she is obviously a very strong choice for Infernal Shrines if you really love to play Sonya, which she does. But, yeah, Surge Energy, they go for Blaze as their first pick. And now the question is just what Stack of Doom is going to do. Again, they are in the losers bracket right now, so this is already crazy to begin with. But they also have to be mega careful. You don't want to fall into like a trap where you get a bit too confident, you get cocky, and then all of a sudden, you know, you find yourself out of the group. So that lower bracket run is a possibility. Someone is going to pull it off, but we'll see. Sonya, the question has already been answered. There's Sonya, and we get Rhaegar immediately together with it. I talked about Link absolutely prioritizing Rhaegar, and this being one of his preference picks, so that's great for him. So Rhaegar is in the house, and on the side of Surge Energy, after they get Blaze initially, we still need a main tank. Obviously, you can still go... Ooh. Talking about main tank, we get Kerrigan. Alright. Kerrigan is in, and we get Uther. So they want to be very aggressive. They actually want to turn things around a little bit and build up momentum for themselves. Kerrigan on Shrines is great, but you also need to coordinate those attacks really well so that you can get the max value out of her. Uther with the stun, Kerrigan, Blaze, both with stuns as well. So if they can gain the momentum and start to drive this home, great for them. But that is already a statement in the draft, right there. They're basically saying, well, we're going to be the ones to actually be aggressive on this one. And, well, with Chromie being banned, what the blue team is, I don't want to say afraid of, but worried about, is burst damage as a follow-up and on that nasty CC chain. And they're even going for a Medivh ban now. So they're seeing all of those picks and they're saying, okay, the one thing that we're actually worried about is that the opponent is coming in with a shield and saves everyone. So that's why we're getting Zarya now all of a sudden. Zarya plus Garrosh. Now that in and of itself is obviously already a pretty scary combo. It can be. But you can try and keep those heroes alive that get hit by those CC chains even further. This is an interesting one. What is the blue team or the red team? What is the red team actually now going to do to round out that draft? Well, they don't get Chromie, so they deviate over into Jaina, and we get a Nubarak. So a Nubarak, Carrick, and Blaze. Huge dive combo. And on the other side, we get Ultralisk on Vala. Guys, the stage is set. Match point number 1. Infernal Shrines our map as we have Surge Energy go up against Stack of Doom. Prepare yourselves for battle. On the left, X-Ray is preparing himself with Garrosh. We have Darkmog with Sonya. Ultralisk with Vala, so we're gonna get those auto attack stacks. They don't have a double support, but they have Außenseiter on Zarya with Feel the Heat, so a little bit of a hybrid thing here. You get the extra damage, you get the extra shield for Vala and can keep her alive. You have the synergy with Garrosh, of course, that you can execute too. And then linked on Rhaegar. As over on the right side, Surge Energy plays with Leppy on Uther. We have Atella on Jaina, Atella or Atea, not sure. Bye-Bye is playing an Uberak. We got Nolobaka on Kerrigan, and Dion is playing Blaze. So, Ultralisk. Maiev got banned. Now he has a chance to show his Vala skills here. And then we also have, in addition to that, of course, Darkmog with Sonya. That's actually another big one. You have now technically a shield for Sonya too. I mean, Zarya can obviously not shield all of them. But depending on the situation and depending how well Außenseiter is going to judge those fights, they have a chance to do some real work here. Now, at the bottom, energy is already being built up mega quickly for Zarya, so they can start to get the heat out. But yeah, I'm curious how well this combo between X-Ray on Garrosh and Außenseiter on Zarya is going to work for them, because that was always a really dangerous one. And something that you can absolutely use to destroy an opponent's team if you do it right. But there's such a huge amount of CC on the side of Surge Energy that if they are able to sync those stuns up, then it's going to be a nightmare for Stack of Doom. They have tools against that, but there is a lot of kill potential here. Talking about kills, when we're talking about skirmishes, then Stack of Doom is of course with Vala gonna try and get at least a few battles for the auto attacker so that Ultralisk can start to work in some extra damage as the game continues. But first 2 camps are already taken, and Nubarak just says hello here, but at this point, Surge Energy hasn't taken a single camp yet. Now Rhaegar, they're kind of trying to bait out a potential attack. They're double checking on the camp. They just want to see if this one is taken. Or is about to be taken. But the red team hasn't done anything. Well, they don't like PvE apparently. The only thing that they're taking down is minion waves. But they're just lurking and looking to see if they can flank in on anybody on the blue team. And get a quick kill. But the only flank that is happening right now is the one against Blaze at the top. And he is trying to get out. But the problem is just simply there's too many of them. So he starts with a few nice dodges where he gets away, but it's still no chance for him to actually escape. So Blaze is the first victim of the game, and he gets eliminated. So now that we have the shrines also spawning, or the first shrine spawning in the middle of the map, as a result they attack at the top left. They're going for the camp, and interestingly enough, only one team takes their camp. So this could actually become a bit of a thing. Especially if Darkmog stays there just a tiny little bit longer. So the Shaman camp at the top has the potential to do some work here. And, well, there it is. So they're a little bit late to this, but they grab it. But it also means that, at least initially, it's the blue team that is busy on the shrine and gets the initial couple of stacks. So, yeah. This is all about the CC chain right now. And Vala trying to get some stacks, but they have to be very careful. The stuns are going to come in for sure. They try to go for Darkmog here for just a second. And Ubura gets thrown around. Okay, they're trying to focus their attention for a moment on Garrosh himself. But another nice save from X-Ray up at the front. So they gotta tap back at the fountain here. Vala, of course, getting a few more stacks together also during that fight. but nothing really too noteworthy, and it's the red team that is completely dominating the objective at this point in time. 10 stacks ahead. There's the level 7 talent. It gives them a bit of a lead. They're actually trying to go for a kill here. Kerrigan, on the other hand, finds herself getting a lot of attention, way more than she gambled for. And that's a double kill as Vala comes in with 2 kills. They make it a triple as they drop Uther and they win the Punisher. They were behind in stacks at this point, but they take the Punisher. Nicely done. 4 kills to 0. And not even a bait over the wall just now. And Jaina alone just doesn't want to deal with it. So that's going to be extra damage against the mid lane fort. And nice little move from Stag of Doom. That fight was amazing. That was fantastic for Vala too. Vala, on the other hand, not that many stacks, honestly. This isn't really some kind of sustained battle that she's being able to fight out where she works in auto attack after auto attack. It's really just on-point damage after the team decided to make a play and then went ham on it. And just look at the gap in experience that all of a sudden opened up. Darkmook is creating some havoc at the bot lane as he destroys more structures. But this is now a 1.5 level advantage for Stag of Doom already. And more camps that they're getting in the process as well. So most of the camps in this game have been claimed by Stag of Doom. Which for them is pretty great, because they are now in a spot where they have a lead in experience, and you can see it right here because of hero experience, mercenary experience, they're doing better on the minion experience, and they will also have an increased passive experience now, simply because the fort in the middle was already destroyed. So we'll see what exactly we're now gonna get from the red team. They have to muster a response, they have to do something, right? And they have the CC in order to make it work. This, by the way, the Warlord's challenge here is big. This is really big, because Surge Energy is clumping up very aggressively on those shrines with the melee heroes that they have, as you can see before. So if Garrosh, if X-Ray, if he is patient with us, he can really do a number on them. There were a couple of moments in the last fight where you could already see that this might end badly if he just had that ult there. Darkmook slowed. It's not looking good. Oh, he actually gets out. Wow. Good for Darkmook, but that was a close call, my friend. So they're trying to open up the bot lane a bit. Blaze now slowly rotating over here too. It's actually kind of funny to me that despite everything that has happened so far, we still haven't had a single quest reward for Ultralisk yet. To be fair to him, it's 6.5 minutes into the game and they've been doing well. Now there we have the first 50 stacks accumulated. But it's not that kind of game. So they're opening the wall up, they're taking one of the towers down, and they're just relentless in that approach. They have level 10, they have a 2-level lead, so as long as there's no level 10 ability for Surge Energy, they're totally confident to stay in the lane here. Obviously don't want to stretch that too much. But that next objective is going to be at the top lane, and I guess then we're going to get a much better idea of what's happening here. It would be pretty amazing for Stag of Doom if they were able to get a level 13 talent with it though. That could happen. Now, for now, we got... not quite. With the announcement coming just now, the lanes are too heavily pushed out already. Even if Darkmook moved down to the bot lane, level 13, I guess they could get it with the next set of waves. But they also need to make sure that nobody dies here, and I think that might actually happen. Darkmook is on the run. And the Ancestral is out. They are really trying too hard to keep him alive here. He's gonna fall no matter what. So yeah, and now that they actually came in and tried to save him, the Cocoon forces another fight. Stag of Doom kind of screwed up. That's 2 heroes down, and that was avoidable. They could have avoided that situation for sure. So now they all of a sudden lose 2 heroes at the worst moment in time. They could have just decided to only... First of all, playing it safe, they wouldn't have lost anyone. But they were, same as me, looking at this and thinking, level 13, that's actually possible. Then they decided to use Darkmook in the middle. They kept Rhaegar around and were saying, okay, if Rhaegar is there, then we're going to be safe, even if they rotate in. Then the flank happened, there was too many heroes, they couldn't deal with it. And they just tried to save the target anyways, and that led to Zarya also being destroyed. But Zarya is now coming back. They have level 13. The red team only has 15 stacks, so this is still something where they can win the objective. And we're fighting over a Frozen Punisher here after all. As long as Vala doesn't die, they're gonna be fine here. So that is a talent advantage during the battle, and that makes a difference. Yeah, Water Elemental is also there. That one gets removed immediately. Couple of stuns on Rhaegar, but he's still fine. Außenseiter, and he's dead again. Außenseiter is dead, and there's the full-on coordination on Darkmok, but Garrosh saves the day for the team. But if they don't get a counter kill here, then they're still playing with a numbers disadvantage, and there's the kill. And Nuburak down. We have Kerrigan destroyed. Uther dead. Oh my god. Jaina is dead as well. Absolute devastation. A Stack of Doom goes for a quad kill. Huge play. Once more. They take 4 heroes down, 2-level advantage, and the Frozen Punisher is going to be theirs. Well done. 90 stacks now for Vala. She's getting closer and closer to her second quest reward on her level 1. 20,000 damage now for her. But, wow. That fight, at the beginning, it looked like Surge Energy might be the one to walk away with it. But, yeah, in the long run, it was too much for them to handle. And now the fort at the top is just given up. Not even really fighting for this, just saying, okay, we know this is a goner. Which means immediately that we're talking about the wall at the keep. I guess the keep itself might take some damage here, but only if Sonya is also making her way over to it. Currently that's not the case. So they might just be happy to take the wall out. We are, after all, only 10 minutes into the game, but they're also very close to level 16 talents. That's a mad advantage right now. It's a huge advantage for them. Yeah, they take the wall out here. Have another chance. Sonya still at the bottom of the map. They see Blaze, so they know that Blaze is near either. They go for Nuburak, the taunt, and the kill. And Vala with another quest reward. So yes, Vala loves these fights right now. Not only are they getting damage in on the keep, they have level 16. They have now Martial Law, Manticore, of course. And Cassia has not snuck into this game. But they're gonna get that keep very likely, and even if they don't, Vala gets more stacks, they get more kills, they exploit the level 16 talent, they indeed are able to drop the keep, and now in the middle of the map they can technically go for, I mean, maybe even another kill here, but if not, then opening up that wall would help them for the next potential push. Garrosh gets attacked, is totally fine, gets a shield from Zarya, no problem for him. And we're talking about a 3-level lead here. They're 3 full levels ahead at this point. The stats advantage alone is nasty. And then on top of that, of course, you're talking about a situation in which you can also get more kills and then go for the keep again. And that's exactly what they're doing. There's 1 kill, there's 2, they're making a triple, and they're gonna get even more. Kerrigan uses the Chrysalis, but this is only gonna delay things. Kerrigan is gone, and they're not even going for the keep. They say screw the keep, go for core, end the game, and move on to the next round of the losers bracket. Stack of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Way more momentum now in game number 2. Ruthlessly at the 12-minute mark, they're finishing it. It's a 2-0. Surge Energy gets dropped out of Group B, and Stack of Doom advances to the next match. GG, well played.